Hello, welcome back to AirJobBoss TV. Although this is really not TV, this is in fact a YouTube channel, at least part of a YouTube channel. In order to have a real YouTube channel, I need subscribers, and I'm so close to hitting 500 subscribers. I'd appreciate it if you do subscribe, share, like, comment, etc. vis-a-vis YouTube channel, that kind of thing, because this is really quite a limited and small audience. I mean, the people that are trying to get hired at airlines in the United States is pretty small audience. So if I reached 500, I would be pretty excited. My ultimate goal is 1,000. If I hit 1,000, I would feel satisfied with the production of this channel. Anyway, I appreciate your participation in that. Today we are going back to the interview scenario or interview answer and question and answer preparation. And today I found this question. I thought this was kind of interesting question, so I thought I'd cap on it. It says, the question is, describe yourself in one word. In my opinion, this is a pretty shallow question, if I will, because, okay, you say the word and then what? Obviously, you have to explain, right? So describing yourself in one word is kind of silly because you'll have to describe what that word means to you. I would hope that's the way they answered. What if you just said, well, one word that describes me is motivated. And they're on to the next question. That doesn't make any sense, does it? So really, the question is a non-question or a question that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A question requiring a follow-up. So anyway, here is AirJobBoss philosophy on the one word that describes you. The word is professional, okay? The reason why is professional. Try to define the word professional. Most definitions are, the definition of a professional is a person who complies with the standards of a profession. That's it. That's basically it. So then you have to dissect, well, what are the standards of a profession? And guess what? These are vast, and every other word that you would use to describe yourself falls into the description of a professional. Hard work. Okay, here's some other ones. Okay, let's go. Motivated. Well, a professional is motivated, but a motivated person is not a professional. Dedicated, same thing. Positive. That's a very narrow portion of a personality, because a positive person is also negative at times. Otherwise, they wouldn't know what the difference between negative and positive was, right? If you didn't understand truly what it meant to be negative, you would not know the difference and you wouldn't be able to describe positiveness. So, of course, that's just once helpful. A professional is helpful, but not all helpful people are professionals. Have you ever gotten directions from somebody that really doesn't know how to get there? Very helpful, but not very helpful in the way that they want to be of help, but helpful in the way that, no, it's not really helpful because they sent you in the wrong direction, yeah? So that doesn't make any sense. Intelligent, that's a component of being a professional, and it's not necessary to be necessarily intelligent or higher intelligence than the average to be a professional. There's people that are below average intelligence that are very effective and they're very professional. And so they succeed and they excel in a particular profession. So that's not a prerequisite for being a professional, just to be clear. Adaptive. Now that's a pretty darn good one. That's close, because that says a lot of things about it. Like, if you're not intelligent, you can adapt to a situation. If you're not helpful, you can adapt to a situation. If you're not knowledgeable or have a good foundation in a knowledge of your profession, you can adapt to that and you can fake it, right? So adaptive is a pretty darn good one, but true professionals that excel are adaptive to the situations, people, problems, etc. around them. Ambitious. Well, you know, there's a lot of bad actors in history that have been ambitious. And ambition tends to pertain to self. What I feel is important for me, I am going to pursue. That's typically ambition. And that's not necessarily a good professional quality, nor is it a good quality of a team member. Because a team member does not want to be self-ambitious. They want to be ambitious in the goals of the mission of the team. So ambitious, tenacious, also good, but not necessary for a professional. Faithful is also very good, but faith is actually based on faith typically is the belief in something without absolute proof. And as a professional in a science such as flying, we tend to deal with physics and absolutes, empirical data, meaning that those that we can duplicate, processes that we can duplicate to a successful outcome or reach higher levels of safety based on policies and procedures that have been written based on unsafe practices or unsafe results. So faithfulness is a fine quality, but it doesn't really fall into the realm of a professional aviator per se. Loyalty is good, but this is also aspect of a professional. During the time in which you are employed by a company, they ask for and they compensate you for your loyalty to the company's missions, policies, and goals, yeah, and their culture. So loyalty is a component of being a professional. Effective, that is very good, because really what they're looking for is an effective aviator, an effective pilot. So effective is a pretty high level description of self or of your character. It's just not as high as professional, because again, profession and a professional encompasses everything theoretically that is denoted by a person that rests in that profession. Okay. Generous, scholarly, okay, etc., etc. So let's get back to this word profession. Profession meaning one who complies with the standards of their said profession. As an aviator, there are certain things that you are expected to, quote unquote, know, be able to demonstrate, and in the manner of which you operate. For example, a professional dresses in accordance with their profession. That means wearing your uniform. Now, the airline couldn't make it any easier than that. They actually have written guidelines of what you should look like, how your hair, makeup, jewelry, and attire look. It's just simply written down. So that is a key component, your appearance. Your ability, high levels of customer satisfaction, yeah, safety, aircraft handling skills, problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, threat and air management, CRM. What are these components of professionalism? What do we call them? Yes, competencies. The human resource and study of professionals defines these characteristics that we want to have, and we compile in the category of professionalism core competencies or competencies. And that group of competencies makes up those characteristics which are your standards of profession: dressing properly, time management, goal-oriented. And then you could just go over this same thing: dedicated, motivated, positive, helpful, intelligent, adaptive, right? These are all kind of words that describe, but what professionalism really is defined by is what we call core competencies. Now, the next video I produce is going to be on core competencies, and we're going to go over each core competency, and there are a number of them, and they vary depending on who you Google. But if you do the Google or web search, core competencies of professional pilots, you will generally get a list of about 5 or 8. And those lists change. But the combination of all those I have, and we'll do that on the next video. And then following videos, we will go through each one of them and just kind of define them briefly to give you an understanding of what core competencies are. Because human resources department and professionals are focused on core competencies, and so they formulate the questions and the scenarios and the exercises and all the testing to detect your level of various core competencies, okay? So it's important that you have a relatively good foundation in what are they, what do they mean, and how are they tested for. So anyway, when someone asks you, describe in one word you, or how would you describe yourself in one word? When you're at an interview for an airline, you say professional. And then when they say, tell me what that means, you say, well, generally, a professional is defined as a person who maintains the standards of their profession. My profession is a professional airline pilot. So I have a group of core competencies that I focus on, that I consider and the industry considers that which a professional pilot would naturally have. For one thing, I am goal oriented. Every pilot has to be goal oriented. Secondly, I have a good foundation of knowledge. I have a degree in aeronautical knowledge, or I have this, or I have that. I've got these certificates, these ratings. Also, I have to have good time management. This is a core competency of any pilot. Time management is about getting the flight out on time, organizing the tasks at hand, delegating those tasks to individuals around me. Also, collaboration with others is a core competency. Getting information from others, delegating tasks to others, being a leader in a group and focusing the group on the mission at hand and getting that mission accomplished is an important part, and that falls under leadership. Conflict resolution is also one of those. These characteristics, these competencies encompass all the things that are required from a professional aviator. That's why I feel that I am best described in this situation as a professional. All right, that's it for today. Anyway, stay tuned and, of course, subscribe to get the rest of the story from AirJobBoss.